Hi, I'm Brian Spinelli, Senior Wealth Advisor and Chair of the Investment Committee for Halbert Hargrove. I'm here to talk with you about the level of risk in your portfolio and are you taking enough of it? But before we get there, let's talk about the word risk. A lot of people find that word to be scary, and what I'm here to do is simplify it down to a different term today. Really, what risk is when we're talking with people about it, it's an investment term, but what it comes down to is really the level of price variation that your portfolio or your investments may see over a period of time. It's how much it fluctuates. So the more your value fluctuates, the higher level of risk you're generally taking. But risk shouldn't be viewed as just a negative term. Really, what we're coming to people to talk about is what level of price variation, how much your portfolio can go up and down in a period of time, can you handle without trying to make a strategy change at the wrong time? That's really what we're trying to get to when building portfolios that are appropriate for a client. But the common question you should ask yourself is, am I taking that right level of price variation for where I'm at in my particular investment life phase? And that comes down to a couple of factors. It's how much time do you really have on this money before you may need to withdraw from it or take it out to use it for other purposes? The shorter your time horizon, probably the less likely you are willing to take on price variation day to day, because what you don't want to do is be pulling it out as it's possibly fluctuating lower for a period of time. However, if you have a very long period of time, 10, 20 years with your money, and you really need to hit a certain level of return so that it can grow into something that you can use and fulfill your goals in the future, you might need to be considering taking on more levels of price variation day to day, because you can do that without having to worry about having to pull from it tomorrow. So you can endure periods of high swings up and high swings down, but the overall time period that you're in that type of strategy, you really should be getting compensated, meaning getting a higher rate of return on your money for taking on that extra price variation day to day. An example, you look at your savings account day to day. We're not talking about deposits, but if you put $100 into it, you're likely to see $100 tomorrow. And guess what? Your return is probably in this environment close to 0.3% or lower on an annualized basis at this point. That's below inflation, but you're not taking any day-to-day price swings, so you're not going to get paid very much for leaving your money in cash. That's appropriate for short term, but if you go into things like stocks, you're going to have to accept that day-to-day. Every day you go into the investment markets, there's a 50% chance it's going to be up or down. But over the long period of time, you generally should be getting paid a higher rate of return than leaving your money in cash, helping you get to your financial goals at a much faster pace than leaving it all in something that may not fluctuate day to day. So that's really the question you have to ask yourself is, am I taking the right level of risk for the time frame I have with this money? I hope this was helpful, and we'd be happy to answer more questions if you have them about whether or not your portfolio or your strategy is taking the right level of risk for what you're trying to achieve. Thank you very much for watching.